Hi, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to the From White Collar to Blue Collar podcast. My name is Phil, and I'm the host. Thanks for joining me. It's Monday morning, and I have an important topic I want to talk with you guys about. It's something I've been thinking about all weekend, and it's important to address it. And this is the topic of undervaluing ourselves. This is something that can happen when we finally go out there, we quit the office job, and we're starting to get gigs. And I think there's a possibility for a lot of us, and I know it was there for me, to charge less for our services than a seasoned professional would. And especially we're charging too low an amount to be profitable. And there's a lot of reasons that we may feel a tendency to do this. For one thing, just ignorance. We're going out there, okay, all we've known for years is jobs that involve sitting in front of a computer. We haven't been out there thinking about how things are put together, how to be efficient on a job site. A lot of us have liberal arts degrees. We went to a 4-year college where if we learned anything, it was more about essays, how to structure an essay. And let's face it, some people don't even do that much in college. So that's years and years of time spent not at this type of work and thinking about how to best do this type of work. So you're going out there maybe by yourself, and now you're put in a position of writing an estimate. And you don't know how much time a project is going to take. You don't really exactly know how much materials it's going to be, how much labor to charge yourself or your helper. So there's that working against you. There's just the ignorance of not knowing how much to charge a client for your services. Then there's the other thing that's pushing you to undervalue yourself, and that is a feeling that you're not up to par yet, that you've been doing this other work that's very different in a lot of ways for possibly years, maybe even decades, and you're not sure if the results, if the project is going to go that well. So charging less is kind of a way to hedge against the disappointment of the client. So you're thinking, I have some idea of how to prep and paint an entire house, but you know inside there may be issues that you're not familiar with. You don't really know the best compound to use. You don't really know how to prepare the walls properly. Maybe you watched a couple of videos on skim coating and you think you may be okay with it, but you're not sure. So let me hedge against this by charging less, and certainly not asking for a high amount, because You think that down the line, the results aren't going to be that good. And on some level, you can say, hey, well, I charged less than a normal guy would, so that the client can think to themselves, well, I can't be too angry. He was so cheap. So those are the reasons that you may feel that this is the right thing to do. And I've heard some other people talk about this, people in the industry, on other videos. And of course, people are going to say, you can't do that. You never undervalue yourself. I wish it was that simple. One other thing too, another reason, before I get into that, another reason, let's backtrack. Another reason you may feel pushed to do this is because you're new out there. You quit your job and you're looking for gigs. You're looking to make a name for yourself and you want to get your foot in the door. So what's one way to get your foot in the door is by offering lower price for your work. So that is another big reason. You're competing with people who may have 20 years in the business. How do you outbid them? Of course, you're thinking, charge less, and people will take a risk on you. So, here's the difficult thing. I want to say all these are valid points. This is a really difficult part of going out there without optimal skills. And it's just something that you're going to be confronted with. You're going to feel pushed that way. And hey, if you can avoid it and you're that confident, or you have that fake it till you make it attitude, and you're willing to just kind of not do a great job and just still charge that high amount of money and walk out of there with people disappointed that the work was amateurish, okay, you can make your bones that way. Either way, it's going to be a real tough thing to deal with in the beginning, because there's all those three factors: your ignorance, your low valuation of your own skills, and the need to build the clientele. These forces are going to be pushing you there. So these are the harsh realities of it, that you may be put into that fake it till you make it mentality, and go out there, present yourself as a person who's got the experience, who's up to par in the skills, and maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't, and you'll just have to bite the bullet when they're disappointed. And listen, there were times where a client just sit there and basically abuse me. Just, I remember this one guy, he owned a furniture store. He sold mid-century furniture. No nonsense guy, right? Entrepreneur. That was his thing, and he loved this furniture, and he studied it. And you know what? I went out there and I was honest with him that I'm new in this, I'm starting out, and he gave me, I think, maybe two mid-century chairs to restore. And I even had a helper who had experience in the business help me out. And it's taken forever. It's not coming out that well. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know. Again, this is the ignorance. I didn't even know what the standard was for how good something should look. I didn't even have that much experience yet in the business. So I handed back to them. And I remember sitting there, he's at his desk, I'm in front of him, we've got the chair there, and he's just going on against me. I mean, not that long, but he's just saying, this is just lousy. And he's angry. He's saying, here I am, I gave you a chance, and this is what you returned to me. And he's not mincing words. And he's saying, now I gotta go and call up another guy and get him to do the work. So he's angry, he's frustrated. So that's what it was. And I'll mention that part of the reason he hired me was that he knew I was new in the business, and yeah, I wasn't going to ask for the same amount of money. He told me, he's like, I have a restoration guy who works in my store, but he's too expensive, so I'll give you a chance. But he was still expecting the same results. So I'm going through these phases. What's another one? Another good example. A guy hires me to refinish some of his bedroom furniture. I remember it was an entertainment center. And he wanted it. There was a color sample he gave me. I didn't know how to match colors at that time. I didn't know when refinishing the entertainment center. I didn't know how to use a spray gun. I did it all with a brush. So there's brush strokes in the finish. But at least I thought I got the color right. And then I found out, I bring it back to, you know, when I was in the shop I worked on it in, the color matched. I bring it back up to his living room in his apartment, and they're stunned. They're saying, this color doesn't match. Now, I had no idea about lighting, that the lighting in my workshop, the color matched. But in the lighting in his apartment, it was off. It didn't match. Not that it was off by a lot, but they were paying me money to do this. And there I was. And he was a little more polite than the guy at the furniture store, but I mean, you could just see the disappointment. And I was forced to say, all right, I could see you guys are so disappointed. Just, you know, you don't have to give me, just give me maybe $100 or something. And even that in a way felt like a lot. So they did, but there's disappointment. So on one hand, it's teaching me what the standards are, where I need to be at a professional level, okay? Because I just didn't know. And I'm learning too, okay, if I'm holding this project is taking a month to do, and I'm starting to see that people are getting angry, getting frustrated at how much time it's taking, and they're calling me up and they're complaining, and when is it going to get done? Okay, I'm starting to see where the border lines are, where I can go, what is efficient, how much time is efficient to paint a hallway, to paint a floor. When is it going to start getting annoying to people? When are they going to start complaining? But now you're messing up too, right? You don't know. You're taking too long. The results aren't at a professional level. People are expecting a professional level. They're expecting things to be done in a timely manner. So sometimes you may have to accept less. Sometimes they're just going to give you less money. So what can you do? Well, you can try to fight it. There's plenty of people that do, and they have that ability within themselves to just constantly ask for more and constantly ask for high price, no matter what the performance is and what the job looks like. But okay, for those of you who aren't comfortable doing that, all I can say is that if you're going out there and you don't have the experience, you don't have the know-how, you got to really take this part seriously. You got to take these times when you go out there and you're in the beginning, you got to really have this on your mind. It's about turning that profit, that you got to get out of this really fast, or you got to find a niche for yourself that is going to be profitable. Maybe it's understanding that I'm not a house painter, and I'm a guy. I'll when somebody leaves an apartment, I will paint neutral colors on the walls and do some touch up, or maybe that's not even good because depending on the apartment complex, maybe it's a more lower end apartment complex and they will tolerate those kind of results. Something like that. Eventually with my business, I started to find a niche with kitchen cabinet refinishing, because me and my business partner, he was good at it. He was experienced at the labor and how to do it. And I found that people would pay several $1,000s to get it done. And we started to find a niche there and actually built up a name for ourselves doing that. And we refinished several kitchen cabinets, more than I can remember. And it took some time for that. It took too long. This is really something I'd advise getting into, that mentality of making profit very fast and very quick. Because otherwise, especially if you're not properly capitalized, you've only been working the office job for like $50,000, $60,000. You don't really have a lot of savings to work with. So those savings will evaporate fast if you're not working for a profit. They may even accelerate because you're messing up. You're going back time and time again. You're fueling up your truck and you're putting miles on it. And you've got to go out and buy some more wood, which is expensive to begin with, to do the project over, do a portion of it over. It's all working against you when you don't have the experience and know-how. And it's doubly working against you when you're not properly capitalized to go out and start your business. So this is really something to think about and look out for. Because even if you're going to fake it till you make it, there are all kinds of online reviews now, and people will say things about you online and on Google that you're a con artist. They'll have all different ideas about you. Think about that. You're going out there and you're not telling, especially if you're not telling them, hey, I just quit an office job that I worked at 10 years. You're not going to go out and say that if you want a decent project. So when they start seeing that you're taking too long and that the results aren't that good, and they may even think, and you're not asking for that much money, they may think you're some kind of con artist. And I had that as well. And especially things start going sideways and now you're asking for more money. Again, they might start thinking that about you, and the anger will increase. The online reviews will increase. I had people say some pretty bad things about me, even when the project went well, where I just kind of did amateur things on the business side that showed I'm not a seasoned professional. For example, one woman is actually kitchen cabinet refinishing. She said that due to insurance regulations in her apartment building, that only I could show up to install the refinished kitchen cabinets. Okay, for certain insurance reasons, those of you in New York will understand this. There's a lot of regulations there. But I didn't feel completely confident hanging the cabinets on my own, so I brought 2 helpers. And she is out there on the street screaming at me, like at the top of her lungs, that I brought 2 people who weren't authorized and cleared to be in her building. I mean, just screaming at me, and there was nothing I could say. Like, she just hated me. And so what's one way to hedge against this for yourself? So there is ways, if especially you guys, you haven't gone out there on your own, get as much experience as you can get. The more you have, the more you can prepare yourself to move out of this phase of undervaluing yourself as soon as possible. Be mindful of it. Okay? Apprenticeships. I know it can be scary, but you're going out there and you're with these blue collar guys and you don't know anything, and yeah, some of them are going to make you feel like an idiot. You're start at some kind of apprentice level and you don't even know how to hammer a nail or cut a piece of wood with a saw, and you're going to be making the dumbest mistakes. But at least you're getting paid. You're working under somebody. I didn't do it. Okay, I in some ways tried to, but I didn't really do any. In some ways, I didn't know about these programs. But I didn't go for a true apprenticeship. But if you're going into possibly something like plumbing or electrical, I haven't been in those trades. I don't know them. But I think that some kind of apprenticeship where you should be getting some kind of pay, I would think. It's preparing you to go out there. You're working under some guy, and pay attention to the business side of it, what he's doing in terms of the business side, how to talk to clients, what the client's expectations are. So you know how to set expectations for them when you go out there on your own and not think you're doing optimal work and really it looks like shit to the client because you don't even know what is good and what is bad. So this is a really critical thing to think of in so many ways. The more you can hedge against it, the better. The more better prepared you can be, the better you are, because this is a serious thing. It's not like in a lot of trades you can just go out there and in 2 months you're a professional painter, you're a professional plumber, electrician, whatever. These are skilled trades, and there's a reason that they're called skilled trades. Because if you don't start valuing yourself properly, it's bad on so many levels. You could possibly fall into debt and fall into trouble financially. And then how are you going to get good materials? How are you going to get good labor? How are you going to grow the business? You're not. And like I said, I know a lot of you who've just been doing clerical work, you don't have proper capitalization. I know I didn't. So, and even if you did, you wouldn't know what machinery to buy. So education, apprenticeships, I didn't do it, but I would, knowing as somebody who didn't do it, I would think that they could be a way for you to hedge against this and really pay attention and really think about how you're going to go out there and properly value yourself as soon as you can. So this is a really important topic. And if you have questions about this, ideas, comments, maybe you're disputing some of the things I'm saying, I'd like to hear it all. I'd like to have a discussion about this possibly, because I think it is an important topic for those of us out there, and especially those of you who are maybe thinking of just cutting the cord and going out there and just trying it out like I did. I have a lot to say about how that worked out. Also, I should mention one thing that really helped me that I'm remembering now is, like I said, along the same lines of finding jobs that are maybe more accepting of low-level skills, that are like, eventually I found that really worked out for me was doing warranty work for furniture repair. And there weren't, for a lot of the work I did, there wasn't extremely high expectations. Like, for example, I'm working on warranty work. It's a lot of stuff that the clients destroyed themselves. They destroyed their own couch, right? So you're being sent out there to just sometimes make it a little better for them, just so that they can sit on their couch and watch TV. It'll be full of scratches. The fabric is all torn up. There's dog hair all over it. But it was good enough for them. And so doing this type of work kind of fit the skill level I had. And yeah, I didn't get paid a lot. Of course, they're not going to pay you that much. But the warranty company did help out with materials and supplies. And yeah, there's going to be things that are not optimal. You're not going to be this big time contractor doing something like that. But you may eventually get to that level step by step. And in that situation, I'm getting paid right? There are these jobs out there. You don't even have to go through an apprenticeship. They'll just kind of help you out. There's video phone now. You put your boss on video phone and say, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? And they'll walk you along. You don't need an intense apprenticeship. So that's another avenue too. And you may have to be willing to take on something that you didn't think you'd have to do. It may be like below the standards that you set for yourself, but it's accepting that this is the skilled trades again. So I think I said everything that I wanted to say about this very important topic. Have a great day, and like this video if you did like it, so we can get more people to see it.